Boom. And we are live with another episode of the Brownwater Banter podcast virtual. I am Jared Seymour.
My name is Joey Cates.
That's right. That's right. And we're going to be talking with Eddie and Mitch about Tackle 22 fishing, man. It's I'm learning about it myself right now. So it's a great cause that helps veterans deal with PTSD by doing one of God's gifts, taking them fishing, man. I mean, there's no better way, in my opinion, to get your head right than doing that, and to know that Tackle 22 is using that to help veterans deal with PTSD. I can't wait to jump into this conversation. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and tell you about the people that support the show, man. Hopefully you're getting used to hearing about them. Dr. Robbie Williams, right over here on Washington Avenue in Ocean Springs. He's been a supporter of the show almost since day one, and we're very much appreciative of that. If you're looking for a great local dentist, check them out on Facebook and Instagram at Southern Magnolia Smiles, or go hit them up on their regular website at www.southernmagnoliasmiles.com. Book that appointment with them. Tell them that Brownwater sent you. Give them a call at 228-215-1202. Joe, what are you looking over? It looked like you were trying to look over the thing. Look.
Yeah. I'm working with my computer and my phone at the same time. So
all right, you're doing a great job. Don't worry about how you look on how the live stream with all these people watching. Just keep doing you, buddy. That's right. Moving right along, Hill Tree Marketing man, Jesse Hill. I just talked to him yesterday, I think. He's coming up in one of the next few episodes, man. He is the man. This is his team that he has built out here. If you're a local, you don't even have to be local, actually. You can be wherever. If you need a website done or built for your business for any reason, if you're a content creator, anybody who would need website design work done, go check out Hill Tree Marketing. They do photography, videography, aerial drones, cinematography. They're pretty much a one-stop digital shop for all of your needs. Go to brownwaterbanter.com and you can see the work that he's done, the award-winning work that he has done on our website. We couldn't be more pleased working with Jesse and his team. So like we say, if you're somebody in the market for a website or any kind of digital work, like I mentioned, go check out hilltreemarketing.com. Also, for this month, we have Sea to Swamp. That's located over on Gautier Van Cleve Road. That's Rocky Brooks. He's got a great store, man. Shop local, right? If you're looking for anything to do with the outdoors, apparel, rods and reels, baits, look right here. There's a picture of his store. Rocky's got you covered, man. They also do, Joey, you might could chime in on this. They do reel repair. If you've got a reel that needs a little TLC, it's not working for some reason, there's about 140 comments on a Facebook post that can attest to how well Rocky and them do on their rod and reel service. So go check them out, man. All your matrix shad, your plastic baits, rods and reels.
AFCO shorts.
Yep. That's an inside joke, but they do have AFCO shorts and extra tough boots, and then they Rocky's always slinging those LED floundering lights, man. So those are super cool as well. And then Joey, last but definitely not least, Trevor Reed, man. This is the 4th annual Ocean Springs Crawfish Cook-Off on Government Street in Ocean Springs. It's going to be May the 28th of this year, and we've been to what, Joey? All 3 of the previous ones, I think.
Yep.
And dude, this is a fun event. You pay a flat door fee and you get to taste all the team's crawfish. You get 1 ticket to vote. They pick a winner at the end of the day. Last year, they had like 2,500 pounds of crawfish, and they're going to do more than that this year because it was such a success that they had to up their game as far as poundage goes, right?
That's
so
right.
If you're in the area, Ocean Springs, May 28th, you want to go to a great event, come check out the Downtown Ocean Springs Crawfish Cook-Off. Look them up on Facebook. Joey, where can they get tickets if they want to buy them in advance?
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay. I know they have Downtown Ocean Springs Facebook page, or you can Google.
I think it's downtownos.com is where they got the thing at.
Okay. You can keep looking at that if you need to just to verify. But, man, y'all don't want to miss this event. It's a great, great event. So that's the people that support us. And so let's jump right into it. Tackle 22 fishing. I guess, Eddie, will we start with you, man? I mean, is this your baby?
This is my baby, man. We started this about 2 years ago. May 15th will actually be 2 years since we had a name. And it all got started because I'm a Marine veteran, spent time in Iraq and Afghanistan, and not long after I got home from Iraq, I really just had undiagnosed PTSD at the time and really didn't know who I was. I was messing up at work, drinking a lot, and I actually set a date to take my own life. And, you know, I was just waiting for my wife to go to work so she wouldn't be around. And that was it. You know, I decided I didn't have anything else to live for. And my NCOIC, my senior enlisted guy at my command, basically came up to me and said, let's go fishing. Yeah, I was never a big fisherman before that. I'd fish a little bit growing up, but it was never a big passion of mine. And it completely saved my life. Gave me an excuse to get out of the house, gave me a positive way to relieve stress and channel energy. And, you know, I grew a lot from it. And 8 years later, the Marine that took me fishing took his own life. So,
man, that's tough.
it is. And, you know, you start thinking about things years later, and, you know, between what he did for me and my girlfriend's um, cousin who was active duty that took his own life, you know, we just decided that if it worked for me, it's bound to work for someone else. So, you know, things kind of happen organically. You know, I didn't wake up one morning and just decide, hey, I'm going to start a nonprofit organization. We moved to a new area, which is near Fort Benning, Army base in Georgia. And I didn't know the waters. I didn't have any fishing friends. So I just started posting up in local fishing groups and stuff like that on Facebook. Hey, I'm going out fishing. Anybody want to go? I got an open seat. And it just turned out being a lot of active duty guys, retired guys, and veterans. And, you know, we always shared war stories. We were talking about, you know, every military guy's got that guy story. Either he was a jerk or he was the best. You know, everyone has that guy story. So, you know, that was really comforting for me. I feel like I really was able to talk a lot more about my own stuff, and, you know, they talked a lot with me, and it became a passion of mine. And my girlfriend, you know, finally said, well, why don't we do something with it? And here we are 2 years later.
Shoot, wow. Okay, so let's unpack some of that. So you're called Tackle 22, right? And I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume that that's for the. Is it the statistic that 22 veterans, is it a day, take their life? Is that correct?
Correct. And there's also another 30 that attempt and don't succeed.
Okay, so that's not just a hashtag for you, right? That's something that you
That's real
planned.
life.
Yeah.
That is definitely real life for me, because I almost became 23. You know, I almost bought in. I almost left this earth. You know, I think at the time, you know, PTSD wasn't really widely diagnosed. It wasn't talked about. You know, I had seen my military doctors for, you know, trouble sleeping and stuff like that. And instead of trying to analyze what's going on, they just give you sleeping medication. And, you know, fortunately, uh, you know, the military and VA learns and grows, and they've done a lot better since then. But I do still think medically on a national scale, we are massively failing our veterans.
I would agree with that, and I would also
Yes,
think, you know,
100%.
mental health as a whole, right? Even for the general population, they deal with different issues than what, you know, a military veteran would. But it's cool to hear you say something like fishing was able to save you versus a prescription of medication, right?
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, fishing still saves me every day. You know, it's 100% my outlet. And you said something that I really talk about a lot, and that's talking about mental health as a whole. You know, as much as my organization is for veterans, mental health as a whole is an important part of all of our lives. And suicide is a massively increasing cause of death among all people. You know, think about the pandemic, think about the lockdown with COVID. You know, you got people who can't go to the gym for their
Yep.
outlets, they can't go fishing for their outlets, they can't go for a drive, they can't go shopping, they can't socialize with people that they care about, or even worse, someone going through domestic violence type situations or child abuse. They're locked in the home with their abuser. So mental health over the last 2 years has really been shoved forward, because, you know, people haven't been able to get out and do things. Now fortunately we are, but there's been a massive rise in mental health related suicides and stuff like that. So, you know, it's something to think about amongst all people, not just veterans.
Yeah, that's I want to know, and it's probably going to be hard for you to dig these back up, these feelings. But I mean, when the mindset that you were in at that time, what was going through your head? Was it just, you know, you had a girlfriend and then you were working and it was just everything was piling up, or what was going on then? And thank you for your service again. We've already said that one or two times, but what was going through your mind that time?
Oh, well, first off, thank you for your support.
Yeah.
I think I needed the Marine Corps a lot more than it needed me personally. Um, but it's just a mindset. You see things over there that you can't unsee. It never goes away. So you start doing things to try to make it go away, whether it's picking up a drink or taking a pill or, this and that. I didn't have an outlet for my stress. I was stuck at home. I wasn't going anywhere. I was drinking like a fish. I was showing up late to work. And this was all starting to have an effect, and it just started to feel like I couldn't do anything right. And I didn't feel like anyone around me understood me because I had just moved to a new unit after my deployment. So I didn't know a whole lot of people. Didn't really have a close knit group of friends. Uh, the people that I spent time with, they were drinking a lot too and stuff like that. They just hadn't been through what I've been through. So obviously I was not making very healthy choices. And it got to a head where I felt like I wasn't doing anything right, and that I didn't have anything else to live for.
I don't want to interrupt the conversation because I got a couple questions about what you just said, but the comment right here, Joseph Ball, thanks for watching, by the way, Joseph. Do y'all have a donation link? It's like the second or third time it's been asked, and I'd like to shout it out before anybody bails out of the stream, if we could.
Absolutely. If you want to donate through PayPal, you can go to my website, tackle22fishing.com. Scroll to the bottom. There is a PayPal list. We also do have an Amazon wish list. You can also send Venmo and Cash App. It is Tackle22Fishing. Or you can mail us a check. If you would like to mail us a check, please email me at info@tackle22fishing.com so we can speak personally about this. And understand too that we are a 501c3. And any donation $250 or greater, I will send you documentation for the IRS so you can write it off on your taxes. So please don't send anonymously, so that way I can get you that documentation and you can write it off on your taxes.
Good deal. And those donations, we'll stick here for just a second if we can. Those donations go. How do y'all disperse that? Is it to take people on these fishing trips? Is it, you said, a wish list on Amazon?
Right. So obviously we have 1.5 million things that cost us money, and 100% of everything raised goes into the nonprofit. We don't pay any salaries or anything like that. So 100% of your dollar is going to the mission. We have at current, we're not able to pay for all volunteer trips. We have a roster of almost 60 volunteers in 19 states, and we simply can't afford that. Not yet. So we're hoping to get some corporate sponsors on board at some point, but we do have bonus programs for our volunteers, where we send them cash bonuses every month, or we're paying for gear, helping with gas. We help out where we can. We travel a lot to promote. And we also help veterans. We sponsor tournaments so that veterans are getting paid for their big fish at a tournament, and stuff like that. So, we do try to get as much of our money back into the mission as possible.
So you say, when you talk about volunteers across 19 states, if I heard you correctly, are you saying that like guys say, hey, Tackle 22, I want to take a veteran out somewhere. I know one, or you facilitate hooking that up together, and then they're asking you to fund that? Is that what I'm hearing?
So that's a great question. So right now, all of our volunteer staff are veterans. So that's the whole premise is these veteran volunteers are going to go fishing anyway. They're doing exactly what I did and just offering up a seat on the boat. The veteran coming on a fishing trip doesn't have to bring anything. Most of the volunteers, like Mitch, they don't ask us for nothing. If it comes down to cost for a volunteer putting on a trip and they can't afford it, obviously gas prices are astronomical right now. But if they send us a request, I'll gladly send them gas money so they can get that vet trip done. So
okay. Now, is this charter boat captains or just anybody who fishes?
Absolutely not. We are not a paid service. So in most waters, being a charter captain is not required. So like I said, it's like taking your buddy fishing. And that's the whole premise. You're out there with people who understand, they've been where you've been, they speak the same language. They're going to share a lot of your war stories, and you're going to know before you leave that boat that you're not alone in this world. So we have a questionnaire that we ask all of our guests to fill out before the trip, so that way we can learn a little bit about you, and hopefully get you with the right volunteer. So if you signed up for a trip and maybe you and that volunteer don't really share a lot of the same experiences, we might try to get you with somebody who does. Because we ask you, what countries you've served in. If you served in wartime, are you a Purple Heart veteran? Um, if you're um, if you have PTSD. None of this is required to answer, by the way. So if we send you this questionnaire and you tell me to kick rocks, I'm gonna kick rocks and go fishing. So it's not required.
Right.
It does help us track stats. So when we start applying for grants, we haven't yet. A lot of them are very specific to working with disabled veterans or working with post-traumatic stress or combat veterans and stuff like that. So it really helps us track a lot of that stuff. But we also ask you if you're interested in resources. So if you're a veteran, you never used education resources and you're interested, like the post 9/11 GI Bill, and you indicate that on your questionnaire, we're going to help you bridge that gap. So we have follow-ups at the 2-week mark and 1 month mark. So at 2 weeks, the volunteer who took you fishing, y'all are going to have about 2 weeks to try to get to that resource and get the ball rolling. And then your volunteer is going to check in with you, see how everything's going, see if you need more help. And then at the 1 month mark, the state lead for that state is going to check in and do a little QA. How do we do? Is there anything that we can do better? And how's that resources? How's obtaining resources going? Is there anything I can help with? So it's never going to be a fishing trip and you're alone. We want to build the community. We want to build that support system and know that hopefully you don't just go on a fishing trip. You leave with a friend, a brother, a sister, and hopefully some resources that can make you a better you.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, the follow up, that's key, man, and I'm glad to hear that that's a part of your program. So what I'm hearing too is like, it's not just, say for instance, like Joey and I both have never been in the military. We're not quite the candidate you're looking for to take these guys out on the trip, because and I think that's a great thing. I think that's perfect, because it definitely is the fishing and the outdoors, but it's more about that. I've been through what you've been through. I know what you're going through. Let me steer you mentally in another direction, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
Sort of. I mean, not every trip is about that. Sometimes some men and women have never served in a combat zone. They didn't have any traumatic experiences in the military, and it's just a fishing trip with them, and that is completely fine. They served our country with more. Everything's supposed to be about fishing. Not so much therapy. We're not counselors. We're not therapists, anything like that. So
it's not always life and death, but it is sometimes, right?
Yeah.
We're not going to corner you on the boat and be like, "What happened?"
Right.
It's more of just a really organic sharing of experiences. I'd never ask any of my veterans that I've taken fishing a single question. So everything is always up to them if they want to share. So I talk a little bit about my experiences, not and how I came into fishing, a little bit about KB, which is the Marine that saved my life, and stuff like that. And if, they kind of look at me, give me the nod, and we're just going to fish, brother, I'm good with that. We can talk about football. But, I just want to open the air a little bit and let them know that they're not alone. Let them know that, hey, I've been there. And so if you got something you want to unload, I'm here to catch it.
Yeah.
But we will.
You're kind of like you're like a therapist on the boat, really. You're hanging out, listening to this stuff, and people. It's probably easier to open up to somebody who's been through something the same way you have than it is to open up to somebody who hasn't.
I believe so. I know for me personally, it is 100%. And that's just the way of things. I never felt more alone than when I got out of the military and was in a room full of civilians. I never felt more alone.
That's one thing I wanted to say. Again, never been in the military. I want to make that clear. It's one of the regrets I have in life, because it's such a great thing. And what all military people do for this country is they're unspoken heroes. They should get way more praise than I think they get. Right. When you leave the military, people, whether it's traumatic combat experience or not, I've heard a lot of veterans say, and a lot of people who have left the military, that once that structure, that brotherhood is removed from their life, even if they were doing okay while in, and again, not necessarily dealing with post-traumatic stress from combat situations, it's still like a vacuum that's created inside of their life. Is that correct?
That's very true. And Mitch can tell you this firsthand. It doesn't matter. I mentioned that guy earlier, so we all have that guy story. And if that guy's an asshole, he's at least ours, so if something he's going through, we're going to have his back, we're going to circle the wagons, protect him, do what we got to do to make sure he comes out on the other side still our asshole. But it's the same concept. We just want to make sure that we protect our own no matter what.
Well, I'm glad you brought Mitch up because Mitch, you've been sitting here patiently waiting, and we appreciate that, sir. How are y'all connected here?
Well, actually, I found Eddie on TikTok and seen that what he was doing, and I immediately wanted to be a part of this organization because I have been through the same things that Eddie has after getting out of my time in the Army. I was in the combat zone. I deployed. So I wanted to be a part of something that's going to help my brothers and sisters in the military be normal again after getting out or dealing with those problems, because like Eddie said, fishing's my outlet. It always has been. There's no other place that I feel more at peace than being on the water, on the boat. I mean, I am just 100% relaxed and at peace. So I want to give them that experience and let them know that they're not alone going through this. So I started out as a volunteer, taking guys, and then I became the Florida state lead after a little time, and now I'm the Region 3 director. I'm actually over South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, and Mississippi. So, and we are actually looking for volunteers and a state lead in Mississippi. So if there's anybody watching and interested,
Derek Callender. Derek Callender, we're calling your name, Derek Callender.
He's in the comments already.
Yeah. Madalena knows where we're located. She's actually a friend of ours in Portugal. Brandy Woodell is actually my girlfriend.
Okay.
She will tell you that fishing is my outlet. She's actually our vice president, and she can tell you firsthand how irritable I get if I've not been out on a boat. It doesn't even matter if I've caught a fish. If I haven't been out in probably a week, stand by, because my attitude's changing.
Yeah, veterans, or not, that's, Joey and I have grown up here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast our entire life, and we go back generations of people who understand the Gulf of Mexico. It's why we started this podcast. I mean, there's just something about being out there, the smell of the salt water, the wide open view. It's therapeutic, man, and it's more than any pill could ever do for you. I understand people need that.
Yes.
I work in the medical profession. I'm not against medication because that's how I make my livelihood. But you mentioned it earlier about COVID and the shutdown. There's not enough being done to promote health and wellness through physical activity, exercise, outdoor activities, whether it's fishing, biking, hiking, whatever, what that can do to get you out of that. Because when people become depressed, and, Eddie, you can attest to this, I'm sure, when you were at your lowest, right? You start to shut down and you start to close in on yourself, right? If you have friends, you push them away. Things that normally made you feel good, you don't want to do it anymore. And you turn into this isolation of just mental self-destruction, right? Which is probably where you were at. Which leads me to my question. Your NCO, you said his name. Could you tell me what it was again?
His name was Master Sergeant Tom Carambellis.
But you called him by, was it initials?
KB.
KB, yeah. KB, did he know where you were at mentally? Did he know you had a plan, or was it just chance coincidence that he invited you fishing?
It's hard to say. I certainly never told him.
Okay.
We were Marines,
Right.
Yeah.
And he never asked. He took me shark fishing on the Broad River in Beaufort, South Carolina. We were sitting on a bridge throwing huge baits for the biggest sharks I've ever seen. And all he did was, it drink beer and tell me about his time in the Marine Corps. And, I related to tons of it. Of course, I never said so. And I really regret that, being that he's not here anymore. But he never asked me a question. And that's kind of my take when I go out on a trip with a veteran is I know exactly what I got from that night because he didn't pry. He didn't ask me. He just let me know that I wasn't alone. Yep. And that did wonders for me.
I think just anybody, if you've ever dealt with this in your life, whether it's yourself or a loved one who's been upset, depressed, whatever, a lot of times when you shine that flashlight in their eye, right, like a therapist may, or it's too much attention, they
shut down.
Can't Absolutely. Answer it. It's like it's not going to work. But if you don't say anything and you just talk, right, and you let them know, like he shared stories, I'm assuming with you through the military,
right?
It was the camaraderie and the I'm not alone that you needed, right?
Right. Because when you start feeling that way, you feel like your back's already against the wall. So you certainly don't want to be pushed through it. You don't want to be pressured to have to talk about anything or something like that. So sometimes it's easier to just speak from the heart, speak from experience, and, let them know that door can swing both ways. So, if they want to open it and, unload a little bit, then we're happy to take it.
That's awesome, man. The comments are blowing up, and we got people wanting to volunteer, and people wanting to go to the links and everything. So, I mean, I don't know who wants to run it in Mississippi, but if you know anybody, we'd love to take everybody fishing for sure. But I mean, like I said, if you wanted somebody who can relate to them,
that's our buddy Nick right there, Crocker in the comments. He's a veteran as well, man. He's combat veteran. He'd love to volunteer.
He can take my boat.
He could take our boat anytime he wants, man.
We are not restricted to boat trips. There are plenty of great bank fishermen and fisherwomen out there in the world, and fishing is fishing. I got my saving sitting on a bridge. So,
wow, okay, I'm glad to hear you say that. Joey and I do a sheep's head tournament here, and we picked that fish specifically because you can fish for it off of a pier. So, is there anything we can do with our tournament, like free veteran entry or through your organization? We would love to do that, man.
So when is your tournament?
It's typically the first weekend in October. We may move that to November, but let's just call it first weekend of October right now.
Right. So get back in touch with me. I'll sponsor a veteran big fish pot for that day. So whichever veteran for that tournament catches the biggest fish, they'll get a $250 payday from Tackle 22 Fishing.
I love it. I love it. Anything we can do as far as like a couple, donate some free entries to the tournament as well. We would love to do that. But yeah, man, that's great because that opens up a whole new game, right? Like I don't have a boat. Well, you weren't saved on a boat. You were saved on a pier.
Absolutely not. So, and like I said before, all of our volunteers currently are veterans. We do have some civilians and some administrative positions, but we are about to open a door to a very few select civilians. We're putting all of our volunteers through international training called Mental Health First Aid. So every Sunday in May this month, we are doing a 8-hour class for mental health training so that they can not only understand how to have the awkward conversation, but a way to enter it and a way to elevate to someone else if it gets beyond the scope to where we can intervene or we can provide peer support. If we need to get someone else involved, that's what this training is about. So it's going to make them better listeners and it's going to make them better supporters. But the civilian volunteer program, we did kind of a little bit of soul searching in the organization itself and talked to all of our volunteer staff. And it's really going to be a very small portion of what we do because, like we were saying before, it's a lot easier when you speak the same language.
No doubt.
I'm all about, like you're talking about, training people up for sure. It looks good on your end and it'll help. It'll help some people. But I think it's that natural intuition of shared experience that is your bread and butter of helping people, right?
No doubt. But the Mental Health First Aid is actually put on by another nonprofit organization that supports veterans called Fight or Die, OAR Die, and they row across the Atlantic Ocean. They're crazy.
Not doing that.
Wow. Yeah.
Nope, not doing that. I'll fish from a pier, but I'm not.
There's a perfectly good motor on the back of my boat.
That's why Yamaha and Mercury and all those people exist. So we're not doing that.
Exactly. So I told
kudos to those guys.
I told him that I got a taste of horsepower. So, arm
Right.
power is not really in my scope of practice anymore. But
No.
they offered the training to us for free. It is a 3-year certification, so all of our volunteers do actually leave with something. They're not just sitting through 8 hours of their lives for no reason. So a lot of people can put that on a resume. You know what I mean? So we want our volunteers to grow as people, as veterans, as citizens, period, as well. So if we can do a little enrichment on their end as well, then that's a win-win for everybody.
Yep, I like that. Eddie, dude, you're covering all your bases here from what I'm hearing. I mean, every question that pops up, it's like you've already answered it for me. With the follow up, the training of the staff, the shared camaraderie. What have you learned through all of this, man? Because I'm going to assume you hadn't started any nonprofits before this, and coming from two knuckleheads up here at the top of the screen, who have we're doing our thing with the LLC with this, like. Talk to us.
We screwed it up terribly.
Talk to us just a little bit about the behind the scenes stuff. That's more of the. I know you're a nonprofit, but the business side of it. What have you learned?
Oh, get ready.
Do we have enough time? Yeah, right.
That's all I can say is get ready. But anything worth doing is worth doing. If you're passionate about it, you'll see it through the end. We made mistakes as well. And if there's anybody out there who's looking to actually start a nonprofit from nothing, and I'm going to give you the advice that I didn't take right away in the beginning, and that is spend the money and get a law firm, a lawyer who specializes in this, and do it. We tried to do it ourselves through a friend doing all our filings, and it did not work out well.
Yeah.
We were ignorant. We didn't know we were doing wrong. We didn't necessarily do wrong, but we weren't on the correct pathway. So
you didn't know what you didn't know, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So finally, we spent the money, got a law firm, they got us all set up. But even then, they set up our documentation and then leave you alone. So you don't have any guidance in the future, and that's unfortunate. But hey, that's what we paid for. So we did a lot of learning along the way, but we had the support of the greatest people in the world. Robert Harvey, you guys popped up one of his comments. He's been with us since we were nothing, and I got nothing but love for that guy. He's been with us for forever, and I can't do it without him. He's my director of operations. He sits on the board of directors, and if I had a right hand man, he'd certainly be holding a left hand of mine too. So,
yeah,
that's awesome.
I can definitely relate to that. Like you said, I mean, you gotta reach out to the people that know, what you don't know, even though it stings a little bit. Like you said, when you're getting everything up and off the ground, it's hard to do, but you're in it, man. You're doing great things for sure. I'm new to this. Tackle 22 fishing is something I learned about today. Right. So if there is anything that we can do, you have our contact, you've got our email address, like what you tell us what to do, and we will do it down here when it comes to Mississippi, especially Gulf Coast Mississippi, right?
Absolutely. Right. And we, obviously want to expand all over the country because there's veterans everywhere. I was traveling a lot in the beginning and doing every trip myself. We had a trip where I was tagged in a video on social media, and there was a gentleman on hospice care not long for leaving this earth. He was in a memory care unit. He had really bad dementia. And his last wish before he passed away was to go fishing one last time. He was eat up with cancer, and it was going to be imminent. So my girlfriend and I made some phone calls to some friends out in Oklahoma, and we got on a plane. We went and took him fishing. That's the type of stuff that we did. He passed away 2 weeks later, unfortunately. But that just wasn't having the impact that I wanted. Obviously it was an impactful trip for him, but with the volunteer program, we're able to set up each state, multiple cities in each state. So there's a huge support system there, because that's what I built here at home when I started taking other veterans and soldiers and stuff out fishing. We wanted to bring that to other communities, and also to help with like funds that are raised in other communities to put it back in that community. That is a goal of ours. So, Mitch is out in Dothan, Alabama, but he fishes mostly in Florida. So, like we got volunteers in Illinois, and as they raise money in Illinois, we want to try to put that money back in Illinois, because I find it very unfair that people donate or raise money for these nationwide nonprofits, and none of that money comes back to their community. So if you're a small business owner in Mississippi or Georgia or wherever in the country, and you want to donate to Tackle 22 Fishing, we want to make sure that that money stays in your community, so that you yourself, as a business owner or as a private donor, you're helping enrich and build up your own community and your own support system of veterans.
Absolutely.
You crushed it again right there. I mean, that is important, because a lot of people can send money through Patreon or wherever, and not only
you don't know where it's going.
Well, right. And you got to wonder, out of every dollar, how much is going to the end cause, right? Right. And then where. So you're keeping it all local. I mean, that's the way to go.
How many Mitches do y'all have?
Not enough.
Southeast.
Mitch says just one, baby. There's only one Mitch.
We should have made him shave his beard before this live stream.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm guessing there's a southeast, northeast, northwest. How do y'all break it down?
So Harvey, I'm gonna need your help, sir. I believe we have 10 regions. So we got
6. What is this?
We have 6 currently. 6. We've broken it into 10 regions. We currently have 12 regions. We currently have 6. So we need a lot more. There are opportunities for advancement within the organization. We have a Discord server for all of our volunteers and stuff, and also all of our Patreon members. So if you commit to a monthly membership subscription to Tackle 22, not only are we going to send you some cool gear, but you also get transparency within the organization. So we hold all of our board meetings. You'll know our finances. If you become a charter member, which is our highest membership subscription monthly, you get free reign. You can sit in on board of directors meetings. You get to see private rooms with the board of directors. You get 100% transparency. And I challenge anybody to find any other nonprofit organization that's going to give you complete transparency for your dollar.
We live in a world.
To clear that up, you don't have to be a veteran to do that, right? You could be anybody.
Absolutely not. Nope. We have a lot of civilian Patreon members that are in our Discord. They come engage and be a part of our community. And we want that. You know, we don't want to just take your money and say thanks and shake hands and go about our business. We want you to be a part of what we're building, because you're helping build it.
Awesome.
We live in a world, I feel like, of that has a complete lack of transparency, right? So it's great to hear you say that. And you're utilizing technology. We were talking before we went live, like, you're up to snuff on TikTok and you're doing your thing there. And to hear you, Discord, that's great, man. It's just, with the way technology is nowadays, if you want people to be a part of your cause, once they buy into it, there's no excuse to not have them there. And you're utilizing each tool that you can.
Correct. And I'm not some technology guru. I didn't go to school for tech or anything like that. It just sat down with it and started playing with it until I understood it, and places like Discord and stuff like that, it gives us an opportunity to have everyone in the same room at the same time. And most nights we have a video chat place in there called the Bait Shop. Mm-hmm. And most nights there's probably 7 or 8, volunteers and supporters in there video chatting, talking about nothing. We have trip talk on Tuesday nights with one of our board of directors, Steve Fortson, to kind of help plan some trips or maybe help people make their trips better. And then I actually do what's called Tackle Talk every Thursday night, whether it's I'm helping people with social media or, we're getting feedback about something within the organization. So, people who work with us or support us have access to me. I want to be very visible within the organization, especially to our supporters. So anybody can send me a message or talk to me about anything face to face, and also, join our community and converse with our volunteers.
It's another layer of the onion, right? You peel it back to become even closer to what you guys are doing and stay up to date. Like you said, transparency is the key there. So
right. You got a lying group, because most fishermen are liars. So you got a brag board in there somewhere.
Oh, so we require pictures with the tape measure out.
We need proof of this.
Yeah, there's some fancy people out there though who can even they can even manipulate that. So
yeah.
Right.
Gentlemen, thank y'all.
I definitely want to get some more saltwater guys because I get bullied a lot. There's only 3 of us saltwater guys. All the rest of our volunteers and stuff are bass fishermen and cat fishing guys and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so I need some more saltwater guys.
Mitch is really good at catching bait.
We're gonna have to get
Mitch
to all
was on the boat with a state record swordfish. I know he can fish. Now he might have caught the bait for that, but I know he can fish.
You know where the sun shines on a dog twice a day.
Nice. Yeah, we got to beat the drum here for the saltwater army, the Brownwater Nation, man. If y'all are listening to this live or on the repeat audio, if you want to be a part of this, please let's do that again. Let's reiterate one more time. I know it's been tagged in the comments up above. If somebody's hearing this, they're driving down the road and they're like, damn it, I'm in, let's do it. Where do they need to go? What's the best place?
info@tackle22fishing.com, or you can go to our website, use the contact form, and it'll send our entire board of directors an email. And if you're interested in volunteering, interested in supporting us, please reach out to me. And if you're a veteran and you're sitting around and you need to get out of your house, even if you have never fished in your entire life, please send us a message. We will try to get you out on the first thing with a motor or out with a fishing pole in your hand somewhere. Don't sit in the 4 walls of your home and let it become your prison. Reach out to us, reach out to somebody, and get outside. And hopefully we can get you out fishing with Tackle 22.
Dude,
and that's anybody who wants to. That's anybody who wants to volunteer, veteran or civilian.
Please.
Yep. Yeah. All right. I want to end with a couple lighthearted questions. I know we've had some heavy discussion here today, and it's been a breath of fresh air. Eddie, I want to reiterate again, please, even once this live stream ends, please let us know what we can do. Joey, we'll send him a follow-up email. Like, make us Brownwater the hub for what you're doing here on the coast.
Yeah, we can do that.
We'll disseminate whatever we can do, set up events, whatever we can do. Okay. Of all the shows we've done, and we've had some good ones and some stuff that we believe in. This is the most, this hits home for all Americans, right? But definitely for us. So
if you live here free, it should.
That ain't no lie. So we want to continue and help your mission. But real quick, let's do. I got a couple questions I was thinking about earlier. So of the branches of the military, which one is the best?
The Space Force.
State Coast Guard.
Space Force. That was a good answer. All right, we might catch heat from all 10 of those people, so that's gonna be tough for us.
Told me I was too fat to get in.
I feel like every time someone says the Space Force on social media, all 10 of them stand up and give a standing ovation.
Yes. You know what they're doing though? They're like, you're laughing now, but in 20 years, it's like, we're going to be flying the damn spaceships, the UFOs, and shooting the lasers. So y'all can all kiss our, whats.
I play video games.
Take it all over.
I play video games too. I like that. All right. And then we talked about it before we went live, or we were discussing it, but show your bottle, man. I'm on the, where we at? The bullet here. There we go. What you got, Joey?
Rebel. I'm broke.
There you go.
I broke out the small
I'm a teacher. Look at this dude.
E.H. Taylor.
There you go.
I just picked this up from my father, man. It's 100 proof. It's really good.
Yeah. And Mitch, unfortunately, I don't know if people realize you're at work, right?
Yeah,
look at that.
Yeah, I'm at work. I don't have my bottle with me.
So he either is or is not drinking. We don't know, but he definitely can't show. He can't show
that. With that paper towel roll in the back, it looks like he's in the bathroom. Are you on right now?
He's in his stall. He's on the pot.
Nope. Oh, he's in a conference room. Okay. All right. The rumors have been confirmed to be not true. So, gentlemen, man, thank y'all for your time, dude. Great cause. Everybody in the comments, thank y'all for chiming in. Please go check those links out, man. The TikTok link is there. The Facebook link is there. You heard the website. Send in that email. Become a part of the solution. And like I said, Brownwater wants to be down. So you let us know our next move, and we're in.
10-4. I appreciate it, guys. Like I said before, 22 a day is leaving this earth. And as veterans, we make up 1% of the population. We cannot make real change without the other 99%. So whether you're a veteran or civilian, we need you to keep more veterans alive.
Yeah, and I like the fact that this is a grassroots community thing and not some over budgeted, ineffective government program.
Yes.
That's a great way to end it, if you ask me.
That's it. Yeah.
All right. Y'all have a great day. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see y'all on the next one.
See you.
Thank y'all.